Dear students, welcome to this video session. In this session, we will be covering about the continuation of your previous lab experiment. So here we will be employing database connection along with the user interface design which you have prepared during the last laboratory session. So hope you remember that we have created 3 different pages which is named as page 1, page 2, page 3 using swings. That is inside NetBeans we have used swings and we have created some user interface like which where we got username and password, and based on, and we will be having 2 different buttons. One is for login, other one is for cancel. So the property of login button is to get the parameters from 2 different fields. One is called as name field, other one is called as password field. Now based on the validity of username and then password, so these 2 fields will be obtained and passed into the verify function. So inside the verify function we check whether the username and password is the one which we are in need of, and based off which page 2, that is login successful, and page 3 which is called as login failed will be displayed. So that's what we have discussed in last class. Now in this class we will be trying to establish a database connection. See why? Because imagine you have 100 usernames and 100 passwords. In such a case, it is very tough to give all the username and password within the particular program and check one by one one by one continuously. So instead of which, what we can do is that we can create a database in the backend. Okay. So from the database, we used to fetch the fields, that is username and password, and then we'll be checking whether the entered username and password matches with any one of the entry which is present in the database. Okay, so in such case login successful will be displayed, else login failed will be displayed. So that is our motto. Okay, so for which we are in need to install MySQL. So the properties, I'll be updating a PPT for you. So this will be uploaded in Teams. So this shows the step-by-step installation of MySQL. So here using these steps you just install MySQL, and then so while giving the password, remember students, while giving the password here it will be asking for your password, so that you give it as root itself, R-O-O-T, root. Okay, so give as such. Why? Because the same password will be asked in your program and also during each and every time whenever you open MySQL. Okay, so give it as root, and then followed by step-by-step installation, after which MySQL is ready for you to execute. Okay, so as of now I'm skipping the installation process. Let me open MySQL which has been installed in this machine. So open MySQL. So as I said you, it is asking for a password. The password which I have given is root, R-O-O-T. So after giving it, it will be employing you to a command prompt where you just give the commands whichever you are in need. Okay. So here the important thing here is that before creating any database, you are in need to before creating any table, you are in need to create a database, and followed with you are in need to use a particular database before creating a table. So the command for it is create database, any name you can give. Let me give it as DB1. So query OK, one row affected, says that the database creation is OK. Okay. Now we are in need to enter into the database. So for which you just give use and then followed by the database name which you have created, that is use DB1. Now the database is changed. Okay. So in this scenario I can create tables. So the command for creating tables, everything is given in the slides. So let me go with creation of table. So create table followed with table name. Let the table name be passwords, PWDS. Okay, passwords, and then followed with open bracket, and then you need to give 2 different variables. One is for username which is called as name. Let it be var character. So all these parameters you have discussed in database management system itself. So it may consume 20 characters, comma, and then pass. So this is for passwords. Okay, so this variable is also var character. This may also contain 20 characters maximum. Okay, and then press enter. So the table is created. Okay, so now you are in need to insert values in the table, for which you give insert command. Insert into table name. Table name is PWDS followed with values. This is a keyword, and then since it is var character, if it is a number or integer, you can give the number as such. Since it is var character, you are in need to give within single quotes. Okay, so my first username is admin and its password is 123. Close bracket, semicolon, enter. So whenever you have query OK, one row affected, so like which query OK command says that the particular command whichever you have entered is successfully executed. Okay, so the same insert command I am going to give again to take my second username, which is AAA, and password let it be 111. And for third time I may give another username, so like which you can give any number of usernames followed with passwords. So for this particular password, let me give $123. Okay, so like which you can give all the entries, and then to check whether all the entries are perfectly entered, you can give select star from database name, that table name, that is PWDS. Okay, yes, it has been entered. Fine. Now your database is ready. Now you are in need to write a program from Java to access these usernames and password from MySQL. Okay, so let me open the program. So this is a table, this is a MySQL user interface design which I have created. So my main particular code is inside login part. Okay, so login is a program which we are in need to change, okay, to adapt in order to fetch from the database. So the first line which you are in need to give is import java.sql.star. So I am in need to import all the SQL statements, so just include this particular header file. Okay, and then so inside verify function, this username and this password is the one which I have entered through the program, so it has been obtained over here. Remember that you are in need to give throws exception. That is another important correction which you are in need to give here. Why? Because all these MySQL commands will throw certain exceptions. Okay, so those exceptions should be caught over by the parent function. So just give throws exception after verify function. So once you give this, you are in need to make a very small correction inside your main program. So in the main program, you have called l.verify. L means login. For the class, you have created a object called as L, and using L, you have called the particular function called as verify. So this has to be given inside try catch. So try open bracket, just give l.verify, and then as usual parameters, close it and catch exception E where you don't pass any parameters over here. That's all. So this is a simple change you are in need to do before going for the actual login function. Okay. So now go to the login function. So here inside the verify function, you are in need to give these statements in order to access MySQL from Java. So this is a front and back end connectivity code. So for which you are in need to create a driver, okay, which is called as MySQL JDBC driver. So for which you are in need to create a class and then create a connection URL. That is, it's a string component. Using this connection URL, you will be establishing a connection. So here the command for this is standard. So you can just copy this particular thing, the standard code, and paste it in your function. So the main code will be given to you as a PPT in the form of PPT itself. Okay. So here there is some port number over here, 3306, right? So don't change the port number. Okay, it is by default. The port number which is used for NetBeans and then MySQL is always 3306. Don't change this. After which you can see some database name here, right? DB1. So this is a database which you have created initially. So if you change this database name, if you have given your own name, then in the connection URL, just change this particular name followed by question mark. Question mark should be always there. You change DB1 alone based on the database name which you have given in your MySQL command. Okay. And then followed by connection. So it takes a driver manager and gets connection using this URL which you have created now. So here you can see the username and password. As I told you, during installation of MySQL, give the username and password as root. Else, if you have given some other password like ABC, then you are in need to give the username and password accordingly. So this should be same in order to establish a connection successfully. Okay. And followed by creating a statement. So this statement is the one using which you will be executing queries. Okay. And then followed by a result set. So here my idea is that I will be executing the query called as select star from passwords. Okay, so as like here, the meaning of select start from passwords, that is table name, will be displaying the entire contents of the table, right? So the output of this will be passed as a result set. That is our meaning. So ST is a statement. Using the statement, I am executing the query called as select star from password, the result of which is a complete table. that table will be stored in a separate database called as result set. So using yes, I will be retrieving each and every field. Okay, so there are multiple fields. You can see the two different columns are name and then password. So for each column, create an array of strings. Why it is a string? Because here I have created two different tables in the name of strings. If it is an integer here, you are need to create an integer array to hold all the usernames and to hold all the passwords. Okay, so initially I am creating string names which contains 10 strings as a maximum and string passwords again 10 strings as a maximum. So while I equal to 0, and what I am going to do is I am going to get s dot next. So as I have said you, s is a result set which holds a complete table, okay, which is outputted using the select star from passwords function. Okay, so command. So the s holds a complete database. So from s, I'm going to take the name field alone. Okay, so for which I'm saving. So initially I will be equal to 0. So 0th array will be held with the first string. So what is that? S dot get string of 1. So first column or a string will be obtained and it is saved in the first array component. Similarly, the second component is obtained and saved in passwords. Next, I will be incremented to 1. So again, what happens here? The second username will be saved in names of 1 and the second password will be saved in passwords of 1. So like which this goes away, I mean each and every time until S seems to be null. So after fetching the last entry, S will be null. So in such a case, until such particular condition, the loop will be executed. Okay, now here what I'm going to do is in the next part, I'm creating a boolean, a flag like component, which is, or else you can create integer flag which is equal to 0. Okay, any component you can create, any data type you can create. So what is the meaning of this is that for integer, that is here I holds the I holds the total number of entries which is present in the database. So from j equal to 0 until j equal to I. Okay, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to check whether the name, so the name is one which is obtained through the input, and password is a password which is obtained through input. Okay, so name equals names of j. So names of j is an array which is obtained by means of the table entry which is present in the MySQL. So for each and every entry, I'm going to check whether the password and the username which is given through the function is going to get equal. So if it is equal, I'm just setting my flag will be true. Okay, else the flag will be always false. So initially flag is set to be false only if the condition, that is username, is equal to the entered one and password which is equal to the entered one. Only if this condition is satisfied, the flag will be set to true. And then break. Why break? In the sense I need not continue the loop once the flag becomes true. Okay, so after this is completed, so the flag holds a value of true only if any username and password, any entry in the table gets, it is satisfied. So if flag is true in the sense, then p2 dot set visibility will be true, else p2 dot set p3 will be true. So page 2 will be shown if the flag is true, page 3 will be shown if the flag is false. Okay, so these are the main part of the coding which you are need to get understood. Okay, another important thing, okay, before you just establish a connection between your front end and back end is that you are in need to go to the services tab. Can you see here? Here you can see the project holds a list of projects which are available in the NetBeans folder and followed by files, and third one is called as services. So just click the services once. You can see some database which is present over here. So you are need to create a connection between front end and back end based on this database service. Okay, so just right click database and give new connection. Okay, so here it will be asking for drivers. So what you do is here you are in need to add a new driver in this particular position. Okay, so to give this added, and then the details of the driver will be again given uploaded in Teams. Okay, what you do is that you just keep in the desktop. So this is a connector jar file which you are in need to give. Okay, so just give this and then give next. So here it will be asking you here, just give MySQL as a driver name. Okay, so the host is localhost, and can you see the port number 3306? Don't change this. And database is MySQL, and then your database will be DB1. Okay, so just give the database which you are in need of connect. So here it is DB1 and username is root and password is also root. Okay, and then give remember password option. So each and every time when you run this function, always it will be remembering the password. Okay, so before going to give the finish, you can test the connection and see. Now you can see connection succeeded. Only if the connection is succeeded, there will be no problem. You can just continue the execution. Okay, so after which just give finish. So this is one of the step you are in need to complete after your coding is completed. You are in need to execute a service between your MySQL and your NetBeans program. Okay, now what you do is that you go to the project. Okay, and the second component which you are in need to do is that go to the project and then right click the particular folder name, that is your main function name. Project name is what? User interface design. Right click it and you can go see something called as properties over here. Just give properties. Here you are in need to add a library function. Okay, so in the library function you are in need to give add jar or folder. Okay, so here also go to the desktop and then give MySQL connector. Okay, so just give this and then give OK. So once everything is done, your project is ready to get executed. Okay, so let me repeat once again. So two important things after you are after completing the code, you are in need to do two different connection establishment. First thing is that go to the services and then right click the database, give new connection. There you are in need to add a connector program, and then after giving next, you can see you are in need to add MySQL with the corresponding databases, etc. Okay, and then test the connection and then give finish. So this is your first part. Second part is that go to the project, right click your user interface design, that is your main project name, and then go to the properties. In this case, go to libraries and add jar. Don't add project, don't add library. You are in need to give add jar or folder option. Just click this, it will be attempting you to open the connector program, connector jar function. So just give the file and then give OK. Okay, so after everything is okay, now your program is set ready to get executed. So the main program which I am in need to execute is page1.java. So click page 1 and then give execute. So it will be asking you the username and password. So let me give my username is admin and password is 123. Login successful. Okay, so let me try with the next username and password. So my next name is AAA and 111. So AAA 111. Yes, it is again successful. BBB star 123. Let me try that also. BBB $123. Okay, $123. Let me try that also. Yes, it is executing. Now let me try a unknown username and password. So some username and some password. No, it is login fail. So this is the way you are in need to execute. You are in need to create MySQL along with NetBeans program and such a way that your time consumption has been totally reduced, because it has been fetching directly from MySQL and then it is accessing the parameters and all your condition check everywhere. Wherever you are in need to have a persistent storage like a database, there all you are in need to use a similar code. Okay, so for example, if you want to change the database name, you can change this, and if you want to get the input from some other table, you are in need to just change this particular table name. That's all. Okay, so some other example queries for inserting, getting the details and displaying as a table, everything will be shown to you in the form of PPT. So you can just open the PPT and just copy the code and paste it over here, but don't forget to change the table name and parameter values. Okay, so hope you people have understood the program. Thank you for your patient listening.